Good afternoon here at Ebbw Vale for this FleetEV National League 2024. We are at the last game of the day after 7 highly contested matches of the Wales National League, shining a light on participation and community netball. It is the 2024 newcomers Coastal Heat versus last year's champions Valley's Volcanoes. You can just see them warming up on the court, ready to play this last game. Coming into today, they were inseparable. Both 2 wins from 2 in Bangor, and both sat on 10 points with equal goal difference. You just couldn't split them. Coastal Heat beat Northwest Fury 38-23 earlier this morning, and Valley's Volcanoes beat West Wales Phoenix 36-22. I'm Pamela Cookie, and we are on the home straight. Airline Roberts, former Welsh feather, now turned head coach. Airline, let's go straight into the starting sevens.
Absolutely. Starting sevens then for Coastal Heat. We have Rhian Evans back in at goal shooter, Chloe James at goal attack, Emily Edwards with a fast feet at wing attack, Lydia Grice is back in at centre, Megan Baker-Rees is at wing defence, Emily Richards is in at goal defence, and Sarah Langford is in at goalkeeper. And on to our Valley's Volcanoes starting 7. We have Georgia Jenkins in at goal shooter, Carish Reynolds is on as goal attack, Gwenna Davis has moved into that wing attack position, captain and coach Nick Cook is in at the centre position. Sammy Jo Williams plays wing defence. Steph Perry, her sister, plays goal defence. And Letitia Kidner is back in at goalkeeper.
Thank you very much. Well, both teams made 3 changes to their squads from Bangor that played. So for Coastal Heat, Anderson, Noland and Baker-Rees, who starts at wing defence. For Valley's Volcanoes, their changes were Jenkins, Davis and Jenkins again. So
it's a very common Welsh name. But yes, Georgia Jenkins and Larry Jenkins joins Valley's Volcanoes.
Well, the teams have finished their warm-up and they've gone to the bench to get ready for this match. Airline, I'm super pumped for this. Like I said, you can't split them based on their performances in Bangor. Who has that same goal difference, same points, and coming into this, both in second place on the table, both vying to take it one step further.
Technically, they should draw, shouldn't they?
Yes.
Technically.
Imagine if we had that.
Let's not put a commentator's clothes on these girls, but that's what you would expect. You expect high-quality netball and really high-quality performances, because they're both very clinical teams. We know that Nick Cook takes control of her team, and she loves a fast-paced game. And we know the range that Georgia Jenkins had. We saw it in the last game. But we also know how fast Emily Edwards and Chloe James can play, and her combination with Rhian Evans. Both shooting circles, lovely fast work, lovely shooting, centre courts as well. And we cannot forget about Tish Kidner in that defensive circle. She is on fire at the moment. Her elevation is everywhere. She'll fly on every single ball, especially partnered up now with Steph Berry, who can play everywhere on the court, but especially good in defence, compared to the other side, where we have Sarah Langford and Emma Richards, another pair of sisters playing in defence together. So it's almost a sisterly love all over the court at the moment. So we'll see which team comes out on top.
Indeed. Sarah Langford was Sarah Dacey. She got married last weekend, or I think it was last weekend, or in the recent weeks. So as you say, yeah, player partnering with her sister, which we saw quite a bit of in Bangor. They're nice combination, both athletics background, got some hops, and the 2 teams come onto the court. Umpires are Linus James and Matt Cole. Matt takes the ball across to give it to Coastal Heat in purple. And they start the first centre pass. This is table placed 2 so far in this National League.
And there is Steph Perry coming straight through on Chloe James with his call for contact.
Lydia Grice at centre. She passes into the baseline. Chloe James is there, ready goal attack. Over the top to Rhian Evans at goal shooter.
Steph Perry didn't play this first game for Valley Volcanoes, also nursing a little bit of an injury, but is able to play the second one. Injuries all around for these girls today.
Wow, they saved her for the big game, right? We know how good she is at goal defence. You say she can play goal attack as well, or pretty much anywhere on the court, but predominantly used at goal defence for Valley's Volcanoes. And now, after their centre pass, they get it to the top of the circle.
Here is Georgia Jenkins with her long range.
Nice.
And it creeps in.
Oh, she wasn't in banger.
Nope.
But she's here, one of the Jenkins, as you were saying, George Jenkins and Lowry.
Dangerous
Jenkins.
player, Georgia Jenkins, very dangerous. She will shoot from absolutely anywhere in the circle. Her range, there is no limit. The limit does not exist to her range.
She has so, I remember from last year, just such confidence anywhere in the circle.
Anywhere you put her. Oh, the silence in this, in the hall.
A pin drop as Rhiannon Evans under the post. She nets it that time to take her team to 2 on the board. Nick Cook at centre, passes it off.
Oh, and there is Gwenno Davis in acres of space. As Kerish Reynolds drew both defence to her side, but they couldn't quite get that ball to their shooters. So Heat will have another go.
Coming from behind, Sarah Langford at goalkeeper has the ball now. Passes it off to her sister, Emily Richards. Then gets into the centre court. Richards will take that pass off. Oh, Emily Edwards, she's such a pocket rocket, isn't she? She gives, she goes, she goes
fast.
again. So
she is
quick.
Fast, but Chloe
so
James,
was that ball from Chloe James.
Vision again. She knows exactly where to put the ball, and she hopes the player's there. Obstruction called for Nick Cook. She couldn't quite get her feet back because she thought the centre was hers.
Turns.
Oh, just rolls off the ring. And Volcanoes will take the back line.
Oh, it's 3 to Coastal Heat. Just the 1 to Valley's Volcanoes, but they've got an opportunity now as Williams brings this ball down the court.
Oh, lovely work from Williams.
Jenkins, you know,
Perry.
She's not going to miss one there, is she?
Oh. Well, yes, she did. Thank you. I'm telling you, it's the commentator's curse.
Langford was there for the rebound. And a really great start from Coastal Heat. As I say, new into this competition this year, 1 of 2. Power Sparks, the other team.
Cook almost got a hand on that, and Kidner. But Evans.
Oh, great
just short
from
again.
Kidner.
But James will pop that in the net. 4 goals to 1. And Volcanoes need to step it up a little bit here if they want to keep in the game.
Nick Cook trying to be that playmaker. Reynolds at goal attack. Passes it back to her. Jenkins takes a step back.
And there it is. We won't really say anything about her shooting, I don't think, and then we won't curse out any of the shooters.
Just commentate on the movement. Ball comes through the court centre. Lydia Grice has to go back to her wing defence.
Oh, great defensive work from Steph Perry off the ball.
And there's the turnover, isn't it? You might not get that first inset, but the pressure you put on creates it for your teammate. And that was what Valley's Volcanoes did right there.
Steph Perry fully took Chloe James out of the game then. And Nick Cook might have dropped that ball, but they managed to get it back.
Hot potato. Reynolds leaves it for Jenkins.
But gives her a sly little pop.
Oh,
and a
there's
sisterly
the
lift. Love a hoist.
Hoist. Coined from New Zealand.
Oh, great vision by Davis. Saw Reynolds right on the wing. And Jenkins nets.
Okay, we're back. We're back level. 4 apiece.
Start again.
Coastal Heat 4, Valley's Volcanoes 4. Reset.
Perry again trying to take Chloe James out of this game. Oh, but James is so fast with that ball.
But Kidner's now getting switched on to that, isn't she?
She's very switched on, and she will try and get around Rhiannon Evans, though Evans does hold really strongly. And there is that Perry-Kidner combination. But it's just out of court when she takes that ball. And she does get the ball back. And it's next.
Back in front, Coastal Heat. But it's Valley's Volcanoes, Gallery Loft Conversions, and Tantrum Valley's Volcanoes.
Oh, Baker Reese.
Boom.
That ball was hanging in the air for so long. She just came right in.
We're seeing the wing attacks, wing defenses, sorry, today, really marking that space so nicely to come out with ball. They don't normally get credit because they're such hustlers in what they have to do, but then.
Another wing defense the other side. Sammy Jo Williams comes in and takes that ball and brings it right up the court to Davis.
Sammy Jo Williams, the sister of Steph Perry.
Steph Perry, yeah.
Oh, unlucky.
Just a different type of voice there. Yeah. Couldn't hold her dress. Oh, and Reynolds on the rebound. Lovely work.
Langford, she's really putting some pressure on from goalkeeper, but the contact cord and Jenkins punishes for her.
The fast ball's in. The fast ball then from Reynolds to Cook to Jenkins. It was really nice, wasn't it? That really fast triangle work. Oh,
Emily
no look pass there from Grice to Edwards. Oh.
And again, they still use the same ball.
And Perry capitalised on it. Sammy Jo Williams, great work on her jump to tip. And Davis was sprinting to top circle.
Attacking contact called Jenkins, pushing off the back of Sarah Langford.
That's a shooter's favourite, you have to say, isn't it? Sneaky little push.
Thank you, but it was spotted by Eagle Eye Lennox
James. It, shooters. Great work there by Lennox Jones, the umpire, to note this. Will Coastal Heat capitalise on this?
Ooh. Not sure what that shot was.
Practice run for Chloe James on that shot.
Second time round, that's more what we know from her.
It's very quiet in here when the shots go up, don't they? It's like everyone just waits in silence.
I always like the crowd know how important this game is.
It's like a conversion in a rugby game.
Because it's top two that play off for that trophy title, so you have to finish either first place or second place.
Absolutely.
So every game matters.
And there goes Reynolds. She read that ball like a book.
Nice work.
Nick Cook almost got taken out there, but Lennox Jones, the umpire, believed it was contested. Lovely space by Davis.
Gwenno Davis. She wasn't in Bangor, as you were saying earlier.
And unfortunately can't join us in Cardiff, which is a big loss.
Really? Yeah.
Wonderful player, Davis.
A Central Netball Club. She was captain of Wales under-17.
She was,
so
yeah.
That shows the pedigree that she has.
She was captain. I coached her in university. She was my first team captain.
Ah.
Wonderful player. Lovely girl. .40 seconds left on the clock.
Still tied.
And a turnover again by Sammy Jo Williams. And again. And again.
Grice at centre. Boom, what work? 29 seconds, but they were quick to get that in under the post. And it goes in. Fab work there from Rianne Evans, but it was Grice's work rate, her hustle to keep that ball in for Coastal Heat.
Every ball counts, doesn't it? And every single centre pass counts.
And again, attacking contact from Jenkins.
On the foot, I believe, for Jenkins.
Just needs to watch that.
She needs to be careful. These umpires don't miss a beat.
And there goes that buzzer for the first quarter. Coastal Heat 7, Valley's Volcanoes 6. It's been so tight, but it's Coastal Heat, the newcomers to the league, that are just a one in front, Airline.
They've just pipped them to that one, haven't they? But I believe the centre pass might go to Valleys on the next one, I think. I'm not 100%. But if it does, they might bring it back to level, or Coastal Heat might get the chance to go 2 up on that first centre pass in the next quarter. But really nice play from both teams. We knew it was going to be a great game. It was going to be clinical. It was going to be fast. It was going to be fast-paced. It was going to be everyone everywhere, bodies everywhere. But I think the difference between this game and the last game we saw is, yes, the last game was fast, and this game is fast. But the accuracy is different.
It's the control, right?
The control is different. The composure is different. We are seeing some drop balls, and we are seeing, again, different things moving. However, people have control, players have control in this game. Nick Cook is taking control, Davis is taking control. You have Leigh Grice taking control. But the defensive work on both sides, Sammy Joe with Steph Perry and Tish Kidner, they are working their socks off to turn over those balls. I don't know how many balls they've turned over in that first quarter, but it was a lot, wasn't it? And on the other end, when you've got the sisters, Emily Richards and Sarah Langford, they're hoisting each other up in the air, they're holding their dresses, they're turning over so many balls as well. So it's not just a case of scoring and scoring and scoring, but it's the defense constantly working hard, and their work rate is so high.
So high. Oh, well, this quarter time, it's the coaches are having some words alongside their players. For Coastal Heath, it's Blethen Blevin, and for Valley's Volcanoes, she's player coach Nick Cook, but she's got Jessica Sutton alongside her to help. I think a few other members of their support staff just giving a little bit of input into the team.
Yeah, so we've got Macy Lane's mother. So Macy Lane was a player last year, and her mother is a very important part of this team for Valley Volcanoes. She's been a part of netball for years in the Welsh setup. Everyone knows her. But yeah, the Coastal Heat team, you've got Wendy Blethen and Bev Ryan, both very experienced coaches, players, part of netball for years and years and years. So, you know, both teams have quite respected coaches and respected member of staff. And like we were talking earlier, you know, Nick Cook as a coach, she was my coach when I was in uni, and she's so knowledgeable. She has so much knowledge to bring onto the court. No matter, just because she plays mid-court doesn't mean she doesn't know about everywhere else on the court, and she has so much knowledge to bring. And I've played against teams that Wendy Blethen run and Bev Ryan run, and they're difficult teams to play against because, again, they have such depth in their netball knowledge.
Indeed. Well, one's a retired local government officer and the other was a retired assistant head teacher. So they're going to be
living the best life.
Yeah.
Living their best life.
Oh, well, it's just one goal the difference. Coastal Heat 7, Valley's Volcanoes 6. As they come into this second quarter of our final game of the FleetEV National League competition. We're here in Ebbw Vale. We've not seen much of the sunshine, but when I arrived, it was sunny.
Yeah, it was really nice. I wore sunglasses to drive up here.
But we've been enjoying the netball all day in this sports hall.
And just looking at the changes now. So Jade Balderson has come on to goal shooter. I've taken Georgia Jenkins off and put her on the bench. Maybe a couple of the contact calls, they weren't too happy about it, and put to spice things up a little bit in that shooting circle. That's for Volcanoes. Looking at Coastal Heat, believe they have kept the same 7.
Fair shot, just trickles out, but the penalty or parcel shot was not set. So another opportunity for Bolton, who's come onto the court, as you say, at goal shooter. Jenkins getting a couple of attacking contacts, and there was so much turnover from Valley's Volcanoes. Potentially, those would have put them in the lead, but good defensive play from Chloe.
Oh, and Emily Edwards was hopping on the line then to try and turn the ball over, wasn't she? But she just went over that transverse line. Nick Cook deep in pocket. Oh, and Keris Reynolds, lovely work. And call for 3 seconds on the ball.
We've had a few of those today, haven't we? So Langford, goalkeeper, takes them, gets Coastal Heat on the go. Wing attack. Greno. Oh, nice play. Oh, that attacking unit working so nicely together.
Oh, Tish Kidner right up there. Again, another really army player, isn't she? She's got long limbs. She's going up for all them rebounds.
Yeah. You can just see Edwards there, wing attack for Coastal Heat, just bent over. I think she stubbed her finger.
Very common netball injury, isn't it?
Amazing attack, very common netball injury.
And it's either one of those you can just shake off, or one you just have to see if you'll have to come off.
He had a turnover, but passed it straight into the hands of Williams. Sorry, Perry now. Williams back in the day when I used to play against her. And a nice shot. Lovely work there from Keris Reynolds at goal attack. Lydia Grice at centre.
And there is Reynolds again on that turnover. She is a workhorse. A goal attack coming all the way up for a centre pass.
Just what a coach loves to see, and your teammates too.
Absolutely. Another one of the players I've coached, Karen Reynolds. Just taking that.
Is there
that
anyone
one.
you haven't coached?
I don't think so. Lovely shot by Jade Balderson. I think I'm just taking credit for all the good stuff.
Nice work. It goes back to the line. Gweno Davis at wing attack. As you say, she's only playing in the competition today. We won't see her in Cardiff, but having an impact as
Megan
Nick Cook had an
Baker-Reese.
impact.
Late contact by Baker-Reese. She has had a word by Matt Cole, told her no more of that. It was quite a late contact, wasn't it, on centre Nick Cook.
And in the air as well.
And in the air, but we know that Nick Cook is made of strong stuff.
And her teammates under the post. Oh, look at this. It's pulling ahead now for Valley's Volcanoes. 7 plays 10. Coastal Heat after that start to get them in front.
Lovely work.
But this is what we know they can do. That lovely play through,
And
but just dropping short.
Again.
We'd come to expect some more accuracy there from Rhiannon Edwards, but it's just not dropping for her.
It's not dropping at all from Evans. And I think, you know, when you have someone like Kidner on your back constantly trying to, but she worked really well around Kidner then. She did a little quick 1-2 and she got away around Kidner nicely, but she just didn't settle her shot enough. And she didn't really settle herself just to be able to compose herself, breathe out and take that shot. It was quite rushed from her. And then Kidner was in the right position to take the rebound.
Yeah. That's exactly who you want in that rebound position. Kidner. And who you want down the other end, but can't quite pull it in for Valley's Volcanoes. Carries Reynolds at goal attack. So now Coastal Heat with Sarah Langford at goalkeeper able to set this penalty.
There is Reynolds again trying to turn over the ball.
Emily Edwards, she goes wide.
Both shooters being dragged out of the circle
yeah.
here, aren't they, James and Evans?
Yeah.
Oh, Sammy Joe.
Oh, just a little bit too close.
A little bit unfortunate there. Her feet just too close to Edwards.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure she touched that, do you?
I don't think she did either, but difficult to see.
Difficult to see.
Oh,
lovely
steal.
work.
Steal from Nick Cook.
That's what you get for being short on the court. She's closer to the ground.
Dogged on that circle edge. And that quick transition from Valley's Volcanoes. Balderson.
Lovely defensive play, wasn't it? They worked and worked and worked, the three of them together. So Perry and Williams and Kidner together worked really hard on that to shut down both Evans and James. So they didn't even let them come into the circle. They kept James out of the circle. And when Evans came out, they couldn't even let any of them back in. Really nice work.
Nice shot. Carries Reynolds, the 23-year-old Cardiff Met first team. Was that in your time?
Who, sorry?
Carries Reynolds.
Yeah, I coached her. I just told you earlier.
You did tell me.
Coached her.
Apologies, you did.
Coached her at Cardiff Met, yeah.
Oh, these short shots here.
Fast ball from Edwards.
Nice shot
Lovely
there from Chloe
work.
James. Good. Maybe switch them to round. I know you prefer James at goal attack.
Well,
but I'm just, th those shots, they're getting under the
yeah.
post.
Well,
but
they have
not-
got depth, haven't they? We saw it earlier. They took Rhiannon Evans off the court, and they did bring on a different shooter, Coastal Heat. So it is possible for them to. And the bench of Volcanoes are screaming for 3 seconds.
But the pressure, they get the turnover.
And they are starting to run away with this game now. 13 plays 8.
This second quarter has definitely been gallery loft conversions and tantrums. Valley's Volcanoes.
Ooh, just short.
Yes, you saw that as it came out the hand, didn't you?
Absolutely.
So now Coastal Heat coming from the back. The sisters interchanged together.
Nick Cook wanted a hand on that.
Lydia Grice, she gets it in the middle. She goes over the top to James. Oh.
Perry just enough, but there was a contact called as she just pushed off Evans to get that ball. So James will take that one. Potential that we could see maybe Hannah Nolan back on for Heat and goal shooter.
Indeed. I was really impressed with her in the game this morning.
She played
I don't
really
think
well.
She missed
No.
At all. But
Very good shooter. Her holding is very strong, so there's a potential that she could be swapped on.
I think so, because if they allow this to continue from Valley's Volcanoes, it'll be really difficult to pull back in the second half. 9 plays 14, 5 goals the difference.
You need to make if something's not working, you have to change something, don't you? And currently they are struggling because both Evans and James are out of the circle at the same time. So then you have nobody in there to feed. So if you get the ball in the right area and there's no one in there, you have to reset again and again and again.
And they're almost taking out the positives of a moving circle.
Yes, absolutely.
Ooh.
And James has just taken a bit of a hit. And she's back on her feet. Took a hit from Perry.
Nice on the circle edge there.
Oh, and Perry is up again. Emily Edwards even faked that one out of the circle, but Perry was having none of it.
And look how quick Valley's Volcanoes transition through the court. I would have liked to see Boulderson just turn and go to post there. She didn't have to do these extra passes, but she does get it back, and it just does net.
Oh, super fast transition there. And we know Nick Cook loves a fast ball, doesn't she? She'll run the centre if she has to, but very fast ball.
Oh.
Just a bit too much on that one.
Taking each other out.
There's people on the floor all over the place. But she is off the court, so they can't take the ball yet.
Not sure why it was brought back, though. I'm sure you can just play on now with the new international rules. But
yeah, I think with this one, Matt Cole just wanted her to get on her feet.
Oh. Perry again. Goal defense for Valley's Volcanoes. Just on everything. A little bit too close that time round.
And James sinks another shot.
And
right
there
on the buzzer
goes the buzzer for the first half. 10 plays 15. Gallery lost conversions and tantrum. Valley's Volcanoes have pushed out. They were 1 goal down coming into that second quarter, but they're now taking it to a 5-goal lead. What did they do differently in that quarter?
They didn't like to lose that first quarter, did they, by 1? They absolutely smashed it in that second quarter. I know that they can play a fast-paced game, but what they are doing now is playing so much more accurately. They've settled a lot more into their own game. They're moving much better. I know they brought on Jade Boulderson, which is a different shooter to Jenkins. So Jenkins likes to just stand in row space, to take the ball, turn and shoot, take the ball, turn and shoot. But Boulderson moves and moves and moves. And with Reynolds, who's also a moving shooter, the combination of both of them together works really nicely. So I think that's helped them a lot in that second quarter, because James and Davis now have 2 options for the ball instead of 1 option that's moving around and 1 option that's standing still.
Indeed, indeed. And for Coastal Heat, started so well. They were I think it was 4-1 or in that first quarter, but then they've allowed, well, Valley's Volcanoes have worked to get in front and push. They only scored 3 in that second quarter compared to 9 for Valley's Volcanoes. What stopped them?
Yeah, that could be a disappointing second quarter for them, only scoring 3 goals. But I think we have to give credit to Steph Perry, Sammy Jo and Kidner, because they shut down James, Edwards and Evans. They shut down the 3 of them, the attacking 3, the shooter, goal attack and wing attack. They took them out of the game. Every time one of them came out of the circle, they weren't letting them back in. They forced both Rhian Evans and Chloe James out of the shooting circle to try and move the ball. And when they're both out of there, well,
you have to be in
stuck.
the circle to be able to shoot, don't you?
You need someone in there. That's the
also
whole point of the game.
Indeed. So yeah, struggle street there for Coastal Heat in that second quarter. So they'll be getting some words of wisdom from their coaches, so that they can hopefully come out in that third quarter. Both teams, as I said, coming into today tied in second place with 10 goals, 10 points. joint on goal difference, and so this was a hotly contested match that we were so looking forward to, and it's still quite tight, just 5 goals of difference. Anything can change. We've still got 20 minutes of netball. We're playing 10-minute quarters.
Anything can change. That's what, a couple of turnovers and your own possession. So we saw it in that first game this morning, didn't we? City Flames versus Southeast Blaze. We saw City Flames leading going into that last quarter, and Southeast Blaze bringing it right back to that draw. That was a hell of a game this morning. But going into this this third quarter now, I think Valley's Volcanoes need to keep pushing now. They need to keep bringing the heat. They need to keep making sure they can move the ball so fast. They've moved down to the end of the court before we've even turned our head. And if they keep doing that with the accuracy they've got and the composure they've got, they can keep building on this. And if they keep working so hard in defense to take out Coastal Heat's attack, then they will keep building. But Coastal Heat really now need to change their game plan. It's not working for them. It's not working having those 2 types of shooters in there. I'll be surprised if we see them both come back on court, because I don't think it's working. But if they do, then that's their decision. But I think there is a switch up in mid-court somewhere for them. But I guess we'll find out when they come back on court.
We will indeed, and I think you're right. We saw some of them players warming up there in this half-time break, ready to make that substitution to come back onto the court. But it's still tight. Just 5 goals the difference, but it does seem that Valley's Volcanoes have got the bit between their teeth, and they're pushing ahead, coming back from that 1-goal deficit in the first quarter.
It's a team that doesn't like to lose, aren't they? They definitely don't like to lose.
And they are 2023 champions.
They are. They want to retain that crown, don't they? And they want to give Northeast Inferno another run for their money. And we know that Inferno really want to take that crown away from them.
Indeed, indeed. We're set for some amazing netball still to come. We've already had some great stuff. Don't forget, 20th of July, Saturday in the House of Sport. And then Sunday, the 21st of July, also in the House of Sport, the champion will be crowned. But here for this last game of the day, game 8, Coastal Heat versus Valley's Volcanoes. It's 10 to Coastal Heat, 15 to Valley's Volcanoes. And the 30-second warning has been put, but the teams are already on court. They want to play.
The umpires one at a time. I don't think we have any changes from the Valley Volcanoes. They've kept to that 7 that finished the last quarter. However, Coastal Heat, as predicted, have made some changes. So Hannah Nolan has come on to goal shooter that we were talking about earlier. Rhian Evans has moved into the goal attack position. Emily Richards has moved into wing defence, previously from the goal defence position. Maddie Newton is on at centre, and Olivia Hollis is on at goal defence.
All right, so quite a few changes there from Coastal Heat, looking to get themselves back into this game. But it was Valley's Volcanoes that had the first centre pass. It's in. Balderson came on in that last quarter, and she continues where she left off. Good eye for the post, and takes it to 16 for Valley's Volcanoes.
Let's see if we can get a different side to Heat now with Nolan in there. First goal. There it is. It's always important, isn't it, that first one under the net?
Definitely. When you first come on from the bench, you just want to set her, get a nice settler, and she's done just that. So now for the defense of Coastal Heat, and as we say it, they get that turnover. Didn't really have to do much, but the ball came in their hand. They will take it regardless. Emily Edwards at wing attack gets the contact call. And it's Olivia Hollis at goal defense. Oh, just forcing that one.
Kidner all over it, isn't she? All over those kind of balls. A different combination to what we saw earlier with Coastal Heat. So earlier we saw Nolan play with James.
Yeah.
And now we got a playing with Evans. Both of them very agile, adaptable goal attacks.
I would have thought they would have left James on as the more accurate shooter for what had just happened in the previous quarters.
But I think I agree with that. But movement-wise, you know, we know Chloe James is fast and can put the ball in, but we know she took a hit earlier. She took a bit of a hit from Perry.
Yeah, nice work there from Langford. Oh, she's been so good. And giving her teammates another opportunity. Oh, and she sees that cross-court ball there to Hollis. And sorry, like you were saying, Chloe James taking a knock.
She took a bit of a knock from Steph Perry, I think, in that last quarter, and she did seem to be a bit uncomfortable, so that might have made a difference. Who knows?
So the ball wants a little breather. That's how much fire is going on inside of here.
Oh, Steph Perry again, but just as far as Newton. And Nolan will sink it.
Nice. I just love her story, like working her way up from the E team to the A team and now playing in the National League.
Just shows you what netball can do.
And what hard work and dedication can. And every time she's come on the court, she's had a solid game.
Yeah,
so far, so good.
She's made a difference, hasn't she, every time she comes on the court. But it does change Coastal Heat's game plan. So now they've gone from 2 moving shooters to a static and a mover. So it does have to change everything for them. But Steph Perry read it like a book.
But that was the key. You talked about it before, that combination of Perry and Kidner. Like, Kidner covered the side, so there was no other option than to try and get it in the middle, which Perry was all over.
It's clinical, isn't it? Textbook.
Textbook.
If
goal
you
defense,
cover off
goalkeeper.
every other option, you know where the ball's going. And if you know where the ball's going, you can take it.
Yeah.
And that ball from Davis,
Oh,
straight to Bolton.
Beautiful ball.
Great vision.
Oh, 13 plays 18, still that 5-goal difference. Oh, long ball in. Oh, what a take from Nolan. Even with a knock from Kidner, she still pulled it in strong. And she scores the goal. Brings it back to 4. 6 minutes.
A bit of a battle there under the post by Kidner and Nolan. I always say to collect your own ball from underneath the post when it goes in, you know, just to give a little bit of a confidence boost to yourself. But I think there's a battle there. Kidner's collecting all the balls. And the hoist again between Hollis and Langford this time. Langford seems like an easy player to hoist, don't you think? They'd love to do it.
That was nice strength there from Newton. She's come on at centre, playing around that circle edge. Edwards. Definite, slightly late there from Perry. And Nolan again, onto the post, not missed.
No problem for Nolan.
You just feel Coastal Heat just need one turnover just to get that confidence back and those connections.
Yeah, they've had a couple of turnovers, but they haven't taken those turnovers to goal. So I think, yes, it's important to get turnovers, but what's the next step of that is taking turnover to goal, so utilising the hard work you've done and taking it all the way. So they can work hard off ball, they can work hard to turn over ball, but if you don't put it in the net, sometimes I feel like it's gone to waste.
Oh, yeah, beautiful ball. Nice work from Maddie Newton.
Kidner again was trying her best to get back and up for that, wasn't she? But she just ran out of space.
Good hands again, Langford, and she gets a turnover. Fabulous work.
Oh, Nick Cook. Jade Boulderson called a zone for her team right from that first pass, and Nick Cook got a slight tip. But and that ball straight into Kidner.
Oh, Emily Edwards will not be pleased with herself there. You talked about it, the turnovers that the defence are getting for Coastal Heat, but if you can't convert them down the other end, just wasted.
Absolutely, but that's the difference between Volcanoes and Heat. Volcanoes seems to be,
nice
as I was saying it, seem to be converting their turnovers.
Another turnover, Coastal Heat. Can they do it this time? Getting a little bit too close there.
And a drop ball from Rian Evans. Nick Cook, that ever playmaker.
Drawing that contact from Olivia Hollis.
And now being a free player. And there is Boulderson.
From Central Netball Club, Boulderson doing the job at goal shooter when she's getting that ball under the post. Coastal Heat having to work it back. Nice, beautiful shot. Nice hold there from Nolan.
And she took the ball away from Kidner as well, didn't she? She took that ball and she turned it and protected it from the defensive, because Kidner was coming in for the outside arm. Really nice play from Nolan. There's Balderson again, but obstruction is called for Langford. And this time she does not miss.
Nice work rate from her again. Edwards fighting to get round Sammy Jo Williams. She gets the contact.
Resetting.
Almost taking a tip. There's Newton at centre.
You can see it now. You can see that diamond setup they've got. Nick Cook is right at the top. You've got Kidner on one side, Perry on the other, on the back, and Sammy Jo Williams on the other side. You can see their diamond defensive setup. And on the outside of this diamond is Coastal Heat. And it's so effective because they get the turnover. It's working really well for them.
Very much so. And with 1 minute 40 left on the clock, they are looking in control of this game. You think someone would just penetrate through that diamond to break it up.
That's the only way to beat it.
Langford. Nice work from her. 2 hands on the ball.
Davis. And she waited as well. She could have given that ball early.
But that was, for Coastal Heat, no one in front to be able to get over the defence of Valley's Volcanoes, and so they were just passing it amongst themselves, and all those extra passes gave the opportunity for the intercept.
Too many passes sometimes just makes it too easy to intercept. Again, that defensive setup is there.
Newton, she's a long jumper. She was told she was too short
Kidner.
to long jump, but then she went and won the competition. So again, we've been talking about height a lot today, haven't we? But don't let it hold you back.
I'm 6'1", I can't long jump.
It's up. Nice rebound. Good work there from Olivia Hollis at goal defence. Oh, she is waiting for this, isn't she? Gweno Davis. I know she was late there, but you can see her. She's eyeing it up. She knows they're not going forwards.
They are playing very laterally, aren't they, Coastal Heat? And Volcanoes are really taking advantage of that.
Well, 7 seconds on the board. Can Nolan, lovely, strong take again. Oh, but this time can't get it through the ring as the buzzer goes for the end of the third quarter.
Great defensive work.
Great defensive work, indeed. 18 to Coastal Heat, 22 to Valley's Volcanoes. Much better from Heat. They scored 8 in that quarter to come back into it, but still 4 goals the difference.
Yes, absolutely. They definitely did much better in that quarter. They've brought that goal difference down by 1. They were 5 down in that after that second quarter at half time, but they have brought it down to 4. So, you know, little by little works. So now it's only 2 turnovers they need, and they can bring it back to then try and win the game. But I think we saw from that the difference having that standing shooter does to the change in the gameplay, because they moved from 2 moving shooters to 1 standing shooter like we thought was going to happen with Hannah Nolan, and she's made a massive impact, hasn't she? She's under that post. She's really strong against someone like Kidner as well.
She really is, and we've seen that in what she did this morning. She wasn't in Bangor, but she's been brought into the squad for this Ebbw Vale match day, competition day too, and yeah, holding so nice on. Just that last shot at the very end she missed, but she's been so accurate, so we can forgive her that.
Sometimes the pressure of the buzzer gets to you, doesn't it? Especially when you can see the clock in your vision. But yeah, absolutely, she's been really accurate today, and she's been a really important part of the team, especially when, you know, your first kind of starting 7 combination of what you think is going to work in your head doesn't really work because of how hard the defense of the opposition is going, and you think, right, I need to change this up now, but not just change players, change gameplay and change tactics. And when you have someone like that can come on the court and do that for you, then it makes your job easier as a coach.
Indeed, indeed. Well, the coaches are giving their last-minute talks before they come into the halftime break. What will Valley's Volcanoes be saying?
I think they need to keep the composure. They'll be saying that they're playing really well. They're playing their own game. They're moving ball fast through court, and they're trying to get on the end of every single ball. And they are moving balls through court well. But they are trying to capitalise on all the errors that Coastal Heat are making as well, which is the difference between the two teams. As long as they keep their own ball, as long as they make sure that they cut down on the unforced errors. We haven't seen a lot of them from Valley's Volcanoes. I think they can take this game away with them as long as they just keep composure through court.
Right. Well, Macy Lane's mum was getting really stuck into to Valley's Volcanoes to give them some insight as they're about to come back on to the court. Coastal Heat, they've had their instructions and the teams take it. This is the very last quarter of the FleetEV competition day 2 here in Ebbw Vale. And it's Kelly Lane, not just Macy Lane's mum.
She has got a name.
She's got a name.
So, changes for this quarter then. I believe the same 7 is on for Valley's Volcanoes. No changes there. And I don't think Coastal Heat have made changes either. Both coaches happy with the performance of the last quarter by all of their teams.
Well, they've got now 9.5 minutes to make a difference, to stay. Whoever wins this will be in second place on the table.
And Nick Cook is on the floor again.
And a turnover, giving the ball to Coastal Heat. Can they make this one count? If you're just joining us, where have you been? But Coastal Heat, they're playing in purple, that's in all purple. And Valley's Volcanoes in the silver, grey and pink.
And there is Boulderson with the first goal for Volcanoes.
Takes that lead back to 4. Ah, nice speed and a lovely take there from Nolan again. This time she doesn't miss under the post. 20 plays 23. This is tight. We knew it was going to be tight.
We knew it was going to be tight. We knew it was going to be a good game. And we were excited for it. And we knew the quality was going to be high for this game as well. We have great players in all units of the court. And the showmanship is incredible, isn't it?
Everyone putting everything on the line to try and get this win for their team.
And the silence on the crowd. No one is saying a word when that ball's going up into the net. You can just hear our voices in the background.
Oh, unlucky Nick Cook replayed ball, but it was good work from Newton, the centre of Coastal Heat, to be able to get her body in the way.
Absolutely. Nick Cook always puts her body on the line.
Yeah.
And Nolan will pop that in to make the score 24-22. Just 2 goals in it now, I think.
The swing across the circle. The swing back again, but oh, who was it? Langford.
Langford was in there with those long limbs.
Oh, lots going on there, but it was enough to put off.
Boulderson.
Thank you, Boulderson at goal shooter.
Both teams need to settle a bit now. I think it's getting a little bit messy out there, isn't it? Knowing it's the last quarter, knowing what's on the table.
Yeah. Stay.
Volcanoes have the lead, so they are they could, you know, slow it down, play a little easy game. Oh. And there goes Kidner with that ball.
Great take, but you would think you wanted a little bit more from your wing attack, Emily. Sorry, from your centre, Maddie Newton.
Ball to Cook from Kidner just wasn't quite on. And 3 seconds called for Emily Edwards. And they just need to steady the ball down court now.
Well, both teams came into this game undefeated. So whoever loses this will be their first loss of 2024. And the other will take bragging rights to go into Cardiff.
And they're so close in regional areas as well, aren't they? So you're just, they're practically neighbours.
Remind us again, what are the areas?
So Valley Volcanoes, they cover pretty much the western side of Cardiff, I would say. So you have the Rhondda Valley across into Merthyr Tydfil, anywhere that counts as the valleys.
The name suggest.
Will be the Valley Volcanoes. all the way up until you get to Neath Talbot. And when you hit Neath Talbot, you become a Coastal Heat. So Neath Talbot and Swansea would be your Coastal Heat players.
Oh. It's a little further out there for Nolan, not being able to get it through. The defensive pressure that Valley's Volcanoes are putting on.
It's a lot, isn't it? It's heavy defensive pressure, but it's working for them. And now I think both teams are putting on a lot of defensive pressure, but the attacking circle is just not capitalizing. I think that's the first goal we've had in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, you are definitely right. 21 plays, 25. And we've got a change.
Aisha Anderson comes on as goal attack for Coastal Heat.
She is another newbie into this weekend. She didn't play in Bangor, but we saw her earlier playing wing attack.
Yeah, she played wing attack earlier. So both Evans and James on the bench and 2 new shooters for Coastal Heat.
Rolling the dice with 4 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock. We have another body on the floor.
That's Gwenno Davis on the floor. Reynolds out to Cook. And footwork called for Reynolds.
Oh,
those unforced errors creeping in.
Indeed, creeping in. It's only 3 goals the difference. It is doable for Coastal Heat, but also for Valley's Volcanoes to be able to ride out this pressure. But I think if Coastal Heat can nail this one.
Oh, Nicola Cook
again. She says no, 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 no.
And who was there to back her up? Stephanie Perry.
Such great defensive work rate.
Just be nice and simple netball now with the ball. That's all they need to do.
4 minutes on the clock. 22 to Heat, 25 to Gallery Loft conversions and Tantrum.
And Nick Cook is on the floor.
Valley's
I think
Volcanoes.
she just wants to stay there. She's still on the floor.
Oh,
and Karis Reynolds on the floor. And another turnover in the attacking end by Coastal Heat.
Oh, but Perry read that one so well. You just want to see Coastal Heat just take a minute when they take these turnover, where they give that first pass, and they've got another chance.
Sammy Jo Williams is called offside.
Anderson draws 3 players on her.
And we can see that zone coming in now from Valley's Volcanoes. Oh, Gwenno Davis wanted that ball. But that zone setup is still strong. And there goes Perry, and it's enough to put Maddie Newton off the ball. And the bench from Valley's Volcanoes is going nuts for this one. Aisha Anderson now called for contact. Oh, lovely work from Cook to throw off Newton.
Balderson. Oh, nice shot. Just the settler that they needed to take them to 26 goals. Anderson gets the first phase of the centre pass. Goes to Edwards. Back on the line. Back to Anderson at goal attack.
Both Kidner and Perry now doubled up on the shooter Hannah Nolan. Oh, but neither of them can get on the ball because they ran into each other.
That's what you can do. They sometimes say there's 2 defenders on your shooter, don't put that ball in. But when their heads are down or they've got that potential to run into each other, do it.
If there's space to give it. And Balderson strikes right back.
That was so quick though, wasn't it? Off the centre pass from Valley's Volcanoes. Heat having to go back.
That zonal defence is so effective from Valley Volcanoes, but unfortunately, Gwenno Davis again not able to take the ball.
Gwenno Davis has been on it, hasn't she? In attack and in defence.
She pulls up so many balls. She's also a wonderful wing defence.
Oh, really?
So she plays a very good defensive wing attack.
That's what we're seeing.
Again, 2 players on Nolan, but she's taking those balls.
1 minute 20 left on the board. Volcanoes have ground this game out. They've seen off the challenge from Coastal Heat. And with shots like that going through the net from Karis Reynolds, so good.
And she's back on the defensive as well. And that zone is back on. There goes Kidner. And there is her defensive turnover she's been looking for. But there's Nolan to try and take it back. Oh!
Ooh.
And we did have a little bit
Ooh,
of
it's
a
getting
reaction
feisty.
from Nolan. It was a little bit spicy on the court then.
Oh, we thought it would be, but they've held it together right until the very end. And with just 25 seconds left on the clock.
I wouldn't mess with Kidner. She's a police officer.
Definitely not from South Wales. Nice shot,
Lovely
Balderson.
work.
She's come on well. And
Last
you've got 9 seconds left. You want
seconds.
goal difference. They're saying, get this ball down.
Oh, great ball from Reynolds.
Oh,
and it's
she
in.
gets it just on the buzzer. They deny Coastal Heat their points from being within 5.
30 goals to 24. They did hit that 30 on the buzzer. That pressure shot for Balderson. Great composure.
Great composure. What a game. We said this was going to be the game to watch to close out the day, and boy, did it deliver. Coastal Heat 24, Valley's Volcanoes 30. Quickly sum that up for us.
Oh, well, both teams, great composure. Both teams, great accuracy. The defensive pressure from both teams was absolutely incredible, wasn't it? There were periods where there was not a goal scored for a good couple of minutes, which is quite unusual in a game of netball. So we have to give credit to both defensive sides. But at the end, Valley's Volcanoes just pulled away with it. They were clinical in their play. They were accurate in their passing. And every time Coastal Heat made a mistake, they punished them. And that's what made them come out on top today.
They did it well. Valley's Volcanoes, Tantrum and Gallery Loft conversions. Valley's Volcanoes keep their winning streak alive as they head into Cardiff next month. What a game. Well, that's a wrap for competition day 2 here in Ebbw Vale. Again, we get to see the levels of participation netball in Wales. Fun times definitely had. Airline, have you been keeping stats and scores?
Oh, of course I have.
Of course
Let me
you
just
have. How
input
is it
these
looking?
ones from the ones that we've just had. So Coastal Heat. There we are. And Valley's Volcanoes, 1 point here. Okay, so we're looking at Northeast Inferno, of course, sitting at top of the table at the moment. But Valley Volcanoes have just now gone on to the same points as them. So they're now sitting top, joint top of the table. So Volcanoes and Northeast Inferno sitting joint top of the table together.
But goal difference.
But goal difference
will mean Infernos will be way
sit
ahead.
on the top, absolutely. And sitting in that 3rd place position is Coastal Heat, just grabbing 1 point from that loss to Volcanoes as they came within half a score, but did not manage to come within 5 because they were 6 points below. Underneath them there we have 3 teams on 8 points, I believe. So City Flames, Northwest Fury and West Wales Phoenix are all sitting on 8 points. Sorry, we have Southeast Blaze first on 10 points. Then we have those 3 teams and Power Sparks sitting at the bottom with 6 points.
Indeed. Thank you very much. So those are unofficial. We will obviously get the official ones coming your way shortly after this, but thank you, Airline, because it gives us a little taste of what's been happening over the past 2 competition days. So to close out, just got to say thank you to our title sponsors, FleetEV, and our other team sponsors. And thank you to Wales Netball, Vicky Cotton, Tash, and the rest of the team for providing these opportunities for players on the in the competition, the highest level of competition here in Wales, participation competition. Our umpires, nice to get a little bit of a taste. Anbert Williams coming in and talking to us in that second game to give us from an umpire's perspective. And a big thank you to all our teams for the show that they put on today. Thank you, Airline. And our guests from Comms, you were fabulous, as always.
So were you.
It's been a real pleasure. I unfortunately won't be here in Cardiff. I'm off to the Olympics in France, but I will be, whilst I'm in the airport, I'll be tuning in, watching it on YouTube. And I know you will do a fab job with Natalie Pepperell as you continue to highlight the sport and show these amazing athletes and what they do on the court. We look forward to seeing you all for the next round. That's Saturday, the 20th of July at the House of Sport in Cardiff, and Sunday, the 21st of July, where the 2024 FleetEV champion will be crowned. Looking forward to that. It's been spicy, it's been fun, it's been great, and another fabulous time here in Wales. Take care, everyone. Thanks for having me, and good evening.